All right, let's just get right into it. William Shakespeare. I mean, the guy died over 400 years ago. He wrote in this old-timey English that can feel, let's be honest, kind of tough to get through. And yet, we're still talking about him. We're still obsessed. Why? What is it about this one writer from Elizabethan England? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and really look at his legacy, one that's all around us, even when we don't see it.
Think about a phrase like break the ice. Sounds completely normal, right? Something you'd say when you meet new people. But it's not modern at all. The first time we see it in print, it's in Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew.
Or what about this one? A wild goose chase. We use it all the time for any pointless search. And where's it from? Yep, you guessed it, Romeo and Juliet. See, these aren't just little bits of trivia. They're clues pointing to something much, much bigger.
And this, right here, is the key. Shakespeare's influence isn't locked away in some stuffy old book. It's in the way we talk every single day. It's like he's this ghost in our linguistic machine. And today, well, we're going to go ghost hunting.
So, first up, let's get a handle on just how deep this haunting really goes. We're going to start by looking at our world today and realize just how much of it is, well, built on his words.
But to really understand the legacy, you have to understand the man. Who was this guy? And what was going on in the world that allowed him to happen? For that, we've got to go back in time, to the English Renaissance, a period of absolutely explosive change in art, science, and culture.
So William Shakespeare was born way back in 1564 in a town called Stratford-upon-Avon. He gets married, starts a family, and then makes the big move to the center of the universe, at least back then, London. And there, he becomes a major player in the city's booming theater scene. He wasn't just a writer, he was an actor and a part owner of his company. And by the time he died in 1616, the amount of work he produced was just staggering.
And that body of work, that's where the real magic is. It wasn't just how many plays he wrote, it was the incredible range. He didn't just stick to one kind of story. No, he mastered them all.
And this is so cool because look at how he covered everything. His comedies, they weren't just funny, they poked holes in social rules. His histories made England's past feel like a high-stakes political thriller. His romances dug into huge ideas like forgiveness. And his tragedies, oh man, his tragedies were these deep psychological dives into the darkest parts of being human.
And this is what made his plays a total game changer. The famous critic Harold Bloom argued that Shakespeare basically invented the human, at least as we know it in stories. His characters, think of Hamlet or Macbeth, they were complicated, they were conflicted, they were self-aware, they had rich inner lives, and audiences had just never seen anything like that before.
But creating these unforgettable characters, that was only half the job. To give these complex people a voice, he needed a new kind of language. So he took the English language and he twisted it, stretched it, and basically reinvented it.
So if you had to pick his single greatest invention, what would you say? Was it a character, a specific play? The real answer is actually way bigger, and it's something that affects every single one of us.
The answer is this number. Over 1,700. That's how many words Shakespeare either made up from scratch or was the first person to ever write down. That's not just impressive, it's like a linguistic Big Bang.
And just look at some of these words. We're not talking about weird poetic stuff. These are basic fundamental words. Assassination, bedroom, lonely, majestic. He'd turn nouns into verbs or stick prefixes on things or just mash two words together. Can you even imagine trying to get through your day without them? He literally gave us the vocabulary for our own lives.
And it's brilliant, because it wasn't just what he said, but how he said it. He mastered this poetic rhythm, iambic pentameter, but he made it sound like natural speech while still feeling like beautiful art. The rhythm of a character's lines, the way they paused or rushed their words, could actually show you what they were thinking. It was psychology through poetry. So, with this incredible combination of story and language, his work didn't just stay in England. Oh no, it went global. But the really fascinating part is how it got used and reused in completely opposite ways.
Let's just take India as an example. When it was part of the British Empire, Shakespeare was taught in schools as a way of imposing civilized British values on people. It was a tool of cultural control. And yet, decades later, those same plays were picked up by Indian writers and filmmakers and adapted to challenge authority and explore their own modern identity. How amazing is that? The tool of the empire became a voice of rebellion.
And this ability to be reinvented just never stops.
Today, a play like The Tempest, the one about the powerful guy who controls an island and its native inhabitant, Caliban, is often seen as this powerful metaphor for colonialism. The play hasn't changed, but our world has. And Shakespeare's work is just so flexible, it can speak directly to our biggest concerns today.
And that right there really brings us to the heart of his legacy. The scholar Stephen Greenblatt put it perfectly. He said, Shakespeare's work isn't some static thing we just admire from a distance. It's a living process. His plays are like these incredible mirrors that every new generation can hold up to see itself, its own fears, its own hopes, its own humanity, staring right back.
So, the final takeaway here isn't just about preserving the past, it's about empowering the future. He handed us so many of the words and the story templates we use to figure out who we are. So the final question really isn't about him, it's about us. He gave us the tools. So, what are we going to build with them?